Today, we're going to be doing a lesson on one of my favorite topics, which is herstory. That's right. I didn't say history, I said herstory. Okay, so herstory is basically all about women in history. And we're so lucky. We have such a rich history in Ireland and we learn so much about it in school, but it's very important for us not to forget the women in history and specifically Irish women in history. We have so many extraordinary heroines in Ireland and it's really important to celebrate them. So I'm going to be telling you all about an extraordinary woman called Grace Gifford, okay? And she was extraordinary for lots of different reasons. And one of the biggest reasons was that she had a career as a cartoonist and a caricaturist. And that would have been very, very unusual back in her time, okay? And she was married to a very famous man, but she's a very accomplished woman in her own right. So what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be putting on this hata. And when I put on this hat, I'm no longer Múinteoir Cliana, I will be Grace Gifford, okay? So let's meet her. My name is Grace Gifford, and you may have heard of my husband, Joseph Mary Plunkett. He was the youngest signatory of the 1916 Declaration of Independence, but I'd like you to know more about me. I was a cartoonist, caricaturist, and illustrator. So that means that I drew pictures for different magazines, newspapers, books. So I was really interested in art. And I was active in the Republican movement. I was born in the Dublin suburb of Rathmines in March 1888, and I was the second youngest of 12 children of Frederick, who was a Catholic, and Isabella, who was a Protestant. I studied art in Dublin and London. The boys in my family were brought up as Catholics, and the girls were brought up as Protestants. From the age of 16 in 1904, I studied at the Dublin Metropolitan School of Art under William Orpin, where my talent for caricature was discovered. In 1907, I studied fine art at the Slade School of Art in London. In 1915, I began a courtship with the editor of the Irish Review, Joseph Plunkett, and we planned to marry. Totally unknown to me, Joseph was a founder of the Irish Volunteers who were planning a rebellion in Dublin, which you might have heard of. By the end of Easter week, April, in 1916, the rebels had surrendered and they were imprisoned in Kilmainham jail, which is in Dublin. The leaders were condemned to death by firing squad. When Joseph learned that his execution was scheduled to take place, he asked permission to marry me. On the 3rd of May 1916, at 6 p.m, I entered Kilmainham jail. With a priest and 2 witnesses present, I married Joseph Plunkett. When I saw him on the day before his execution, I found him in exactly the same state of mind. He was so unselfish, he never thought of himself. He was not frightened, not at all, not the slightest. I'm sure he must have been worn out after the week's experiences, but he did not show any signs of it, not in the least. He was quite calm. I was never alone with him, even after the marriage ceremony. I was brought in and put in front of the altar, and he was brought down the steps, and the cuffs were taken off him, and the chaplain went on with the ceremony. Then the cuffs were put on him again. I was not alone with him, not for a minute. I had no private conversation with him at all. I just came away then. He was executed the next day, and if you visit Kilmainham Jail in Dublin today, you can see the letter Joseph wrote to me, as well as my real wedding ring. In the aftermath of the rising, I became a member of the Sinn Féin executive. I continued to use my artistic skills to promote Sinn Féin policies and for publicity purposes during the War of Independence. Along with the other 1916 widows, so a widow is a woman whose husband has passed, I was against the Anglo-Irish Treaty, The treaty and the laws which put it in place allowed Northern Ireland to opt out of the Irish Free State. I was arrested in February 1923 and held in Kilmainham jail. I painted pictures on the walls of my cell, including one of the Madonna and Child. Following the Civil War, I continued to earn a living with my drawings as a cartoonist for various publications, including the Dublin Opinion, the Irish Tatler and Sketch, and had one cartoon published in Punch in 1934. 3 collections of my cartoons were published: To Hold as 'Twere, 12 Nights at the Abbey Theatre, and Doctors Recommended. I illustrated W.B. Yeats' The Words Upon the Windowpane and designed costumes for the Abbey Theatre. I died in Dublin on the 13th of December 1955 and was buried in Glasnevin Cemetery. I was an extraordinary woman, and you may have heard of me before, and I have been immortalised in a beautiful song based on my husband Joseph Plunkett's poem, Blood Upon the Rose. The song is about our love and the Easter rising, and it's called Grace. Let me sing you a little now and learn a little bit more about me. As we gather in the chapel here in old Kilmainham jail, I think about these past few weeks. Oh, will they say we failed? From our school days they have told us we must yearn for liberty. Yet all I want in this dark place is to have you here with me. Oh, Grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out at dawn and I will die. With all my love I'll place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. Now I know it's hard for you, my love, to ever understand the love I bear for these brave men, my love for this dear land. But when Porrick called me to his side down in the GPO, I had to leave my own sick bed. To him I had to go. Oh, Grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out at dawn and I will die. With all my love I'll place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. Now as the dawn is breaking, my heart is breaking too. On this May morn, as I walk out, my thoughts will be of you. And I'll write some words upon the wall, so everyone will know I loved so much that I could see his blood upon the rose. Oh, Grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out at dawn, now I must die. With all my love I'll place this wedding ring upon your finger. There won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. Oh, there won't be time to share our love, so we must say goodbye. Now, so there you have it. I hope that you enjoyed meeting Grace Gifford.